in a vision. And I don't think most ministers, rabbis out there in the world tell their congregation that that's what is Genesis, the first chapter. So we look at the first day here, plate number 6. Now we're going to start moving in an upward operation. Remember, we're trying to go from cosmogony down to eschatology. So we know cosmogony is that genesis of the cosmos. So here in moving in this upward fashion, we have, what do we have? I see first night here. Some places you can kind of read right off of them. Here you wouldn't see pure principle, divine attributes, even though you see the attributes here, but you don't see anything about divine source of substance. So some place you can read off of and have an understanding of the plate. So darkness he called night. Here we end up having semi-light or twilight. And then moving into the most holy place, we have cosmic light and or day. So we move over to the second day, plate 7, moving in that upward operating plate. Folks, there's more that can be said about each of the plates. But we only have about 23 minutes, and I still have to get down to plate number 38 if I want to make it to eschatology. So let me move along. Now, second day, plate 7, is that upward operating plate. So we now have the waters beneath the firmament, and we're moving in the. Now, somebody had a question about this right here that's above my finger. Everybody see where I'm pointing? Some people thought it was an eye. Anybody take that as an eye? Anybody? When you look in the textbook, kind of, could be look like an eye. Anybody thoughts? I never really gave it much of any thoughts. Anybody? This right here. Is that an eye? Not an eye. Well, we know there's a dove right there. We know there's a dove there. And the dove is representing, the Spirit. All right? So let's just leave it there. Moving upward. So if we have the water beneath the firmament, now you have a semi-liquid or a mist in the holy place. Moving upwards again, you have the waters above the firmament. Now we come to that third day, plate number 8. And when you think of the third day, you should be thinking to me about this death, burial, resurrection, and ascension, plate 31. And all these plates are pointing to whom? Yahshua the Messiah. That's what's important that we're trying to see. So here in the court roundabout of the third day, we have the seed. The seed. And I have seed that now has turned into vegetation. I got my crocus coming up and flowered. I've had my snowdrops flower. I got my heads on my daffodils right now. They'll bust loose here in another week or two. Then we move from the holy place where we had that appearance of dry land and vegetation, moving into the most holy place. Now, in the summer and into the fall, now we start having the fruition of that seed that had a plant that now has the fruit on it that has more seeds that you'll plant for the next year. So now we come to the fourth day, plate 9, again, that upward operating plate, because Yahweh has fall, winter, spring, and summer, pointing out a death, burial, resurrection, and ascension. And that's what we have on plate 31, death, burial, resurrection, and ascension. So when you see plate 3 and plate 4, we should definitely be seeing death, burial, resurrection, and ascension in plate 31. So again, we have fall and winter in the court roundabout. Spring is not officially here in Michigan, but I know if we were in Georgia, their daffodils have already been in bloom and faded. They're getting ready to have their azaleas bloom. You'll start seeing those here in the very first part of April when you have the Augusta Open. All right? So we have spring. It arrives here in Michigan a little bit later than it does out in Georgia. And then, of course, you move into the most holy place where you have summer. So we come to the fifth day, plate 10, again, that upper operating plate, and we have the insects. We have the amphibian plane. And moving upwards, you move from those smaller insects and animals. Now you have those larger swimming animals, such as whales. And moving upwards again, now you're going to have the ornithological and biological kings. Now we just come on down to plate 6, the sixth day, plate 11, moving upward. Very simple. Body, soul, and spirit. So you have the body of Adam taken from Mother Earth. He's not alive, so Yahweh Elohim has to make him a what? A living soul. And Yahweh Elohim got down and performed CPR on that corpse. Not. Yahweh Elohim just stepped into that body and very simple. And then we come into the most holy place where again Adam is made in the image and likeness of Elohim. And we have a whole chart that's entitled Man Made in the Image of Elohim by the Pattern of the Tabernacle. And then we have on division between male and female, plate 12. We're going to move in that upward operation. So Adam is put into a deep sleep. That's what is happening here. When he awakes, then Eve is presented to Adam. Adam presented with Eve. And then when we move into the most holy place, here we have the man and the woman, and they are at rest. Now, this angel here, it would have been nice if this one would have had something written on him. I recognize it as an angel. But I think a previous speaker said that Lucifer was not allowed to enter the garden. In other words, he needed to have permission to go bug Adam and Eve or deceive them. And we'll see that in an upcoming plate. Now, what's important is this tabernacle pattern and also this migratory pattern to understand Yahweh's purpose and pattern and plan of salvation. These two plates are going to help you to understand a little bit about Yahweh's purpose, pattern, and plan of salvation. So this plate number 13, we're going to make it an upward operating plate. We heard about the sons or the great-great-grandchildren of Abraham, right? Because Abraham had Isaac, Isaac had Jacob, and then the issue of 12 from Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. So These are the ones that go down into Egypt. But this is not showing that situation of the children of Israel coming down here, is it? I don't see it that way. Because right now, these people, if they were coming in, what would we see? We see their face, wouldn't we? Wouldn't we see their face if they were coming down into Egypt? They're not seeing their face. We're seeing their what? Hinder side. So therefore, they're what? They're exiting. But we know that there's a downward operation and an upward. This plate is just not quite showing it, at least to me. So we have Egypt in the court round about. We have the wilderness of Sinai in the holy place. Then we have the allegorical promised land or Canaan land in the most holy place. Now we had talked about that ethereal darkness, and we'll find that here in the angelic transgression, plate number 14, that downward operating plate. This here is as up here the third heaven. The most holy place is as the third heaven in this 14a. Then we come through to the holy place. This is an angel, and he's going to be identified when we get to, I think, not on this chart. I think he is up on the Moses chart on the transgression plate. That's Michael, because he's the what kind of angel? He's the warrior angel. So it's him and his angels fought against who? And we have them identified, 666. That would be nice if we would have had this one identified as 666 and or Michael or Gabriel. It would have been nice. It would help cut down any confusion anybody may have. So what we end up having is now they're going to be immersed in the ethereal darkness that covered the face of the earth. So we talked about that ethereal darkness up here in the chaosis plate in the court round about. So now we're going to have the angelic transgression. Well, now we're going to see it manifested in the earth with the Adamic transgression, plate 15. So this is that downward operating plate. We see that 666 angel, and here we have him appearing here in the garden. But this is Adam and Eve before the transgression. They are at what? Peace, rest. Okay? They hadn't transgressed. But Yahweh now allowed this angel to come in to deceive Adam and Eve, and that caused that transgression. And now you can see that Adam is being driven out, and the woman is following him out. And as they are coming out, we see this black serpent, because isn't that how Moses identifies him? As a serpent? We see him coming on out. And then when we get into the court round about, the previous speaker talked about this serpent being what? Red. I better hurry up, only got 10 minutes. So we end up having him out here, but now we have Adam and Eve and they're what? Outside of the garden. So now we come over to a antediluvian apostasy. Again, we're through the dispensations and ages. So now we have one of those ages called the Antediluvian age, and we have that apostasy. And apostasy is a falling away from. We didn't catch it clearly. Faith. Someone said faith. Falling away from what you believed in. And again, you know what? It's something about Yahweh that you're falling away from. It's not that you're falling away from the Roman Catholic Church to the Baptist church. Two wrongs is never going to make a right. All right? In other words, you've had to have some knowledge of Yahweh's purpose, pattern, and plan of salvation and operation, and you just turn your back on it and say, I don't want that. So anyway, this is an upper operating plate. So we have, again, this is Cain slaying his brother Abel. They're outside the garden with they're with their parents here. Moving upwards, again now there's that mark put on Cain. That's at 666. You can see, it's not shown here, but it is here, heading. Then moving into the most holy place, you can see the 666 here. Now we have that birth translation of Enoch, plate number 17. You're moving upward. So this Enoch is born seventh from Adam. Moving upward, that Enoch prophesied, and moving upward into the most holy place, they have Enoch translated. Now you have Noah preparation entering the ark. And again, this whole upward operation is Noah was told to warn the wicked. He did it for 120 years. And then eventually man, beast, and fowl got into the ark of safety. And then we have Elohim who shuts that door. So what we end up having then is these four plates that are going to deal with Noah. But then there was that flood that took place. Here we end up having that wicked that Noah warned were destroyed because, again, Noah was putting the blood upon their heads, those people there. And you can find that in Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter. So that wicked is destroyed. Now you have the 8 souls saved in this ark here. And then moving upward, Yahweh made a covenant with Noah when they reached dry land and they could exit that ark. Then Noah's vineyard, beginning of post-Diluvian age. So we have the end of the post-Diluvian age because now the beginning of the Antediluvian age, now we had the beginning of the post-Diluvian age. Now coming over here, we have plate 21, that's downward operating plate. So you have Noah's vineyard coming down. Now you have, this is Ham, the transgression of Ham. And then coming down into the court roundabout, you have Noah giving blessings and cursings upon his sons. And then moving over here, we have the construction of the Tower of Babel, plate number 22. We're going to be moving upwards. Gosh, I don't think we're going to make it. I may have to skip a few. So we have in the court roundabout that satanic foundation of the Tower of Babel. And we have that satanic immersion psychological. And I'm sure there's hours of lectures that could be given about the psychological effect of hearing a lie constantly until you believe the lie and you just repeat it, and then someone will say, you lie and I'll swear to it. So then we move on upwards to the holy place where we have the Tower of Babel, and the tongues were confused because at one point in time the whole earth spoke one language. And then we have in the most holy place, we have spirit law and the spoken word. Now, we read about Abraham, and we didn't read anything about King Melchizedek, but this is plate 23, and we're going to have this downward operating. Abraham received promise and blessings, and then he ends up having the birth of the promised Isaac. And then in a court roundabout, now when Isaac is about 25 years of age, Abraham is told to sacrifice his son. And we can see over here that Abraham in his consciousness in a vision has Isaac dead, buried, and resurrected. And this is a important type and shadow of Isaac being as Joshua Messiah. Now we're seeing this migratory pattern again, right next to the pattern. Again, as you can tell, we're going to move in an upward operating fashion in both places. Court roundabout, you end up having Egypt. Here you have the court roundabout where you have the death. They had to have a death back here of a lamb. You had the water at the Red Sea. You had the water at the laver. You had the blood of the lamb, the blood on the sacrifice. Then eventually they go through the divided waters of the Red Sea as the priests had to go through the door or veil. They came into the wilderness of Sinai, and the priest came into the holy place. Here you did see the cloud as a pillar of cloud by day and pillar of fire by night as the lampstand. You don't see the manna, but they had manna, and you can tell because they have a table of shewbread. And you don't quite see Moses being the mediator between Yahweh and the children of Israel, but you can tell it took place because there was an altar of incense where the priests offered up prayers to Yahweh for the children of Israel. And then they went through the Jordan River or veil, as they went through the Red Sea as a veil. They came into the allegorical promised land or their earthly inheritance. And the most holy place, again, is a type of heaven or showing forth what we're going to inherit. Now, this history plate, plate 36, has a whole chart that we finally call the Daniel chart. And it looks like I'm just about out of time. So, just to come here, eschatology. Eschatology is the study of last times, last things, end times. Such as we have one of the words, immortality. Now, you're going to be immortal either in a degraded state or you're going to be immortal into a glorified state. Right? And in there, determining that, there is a term called judgment. There's also life and death and hell. This all tied up with this word eschatology, if we had time. So in this is a plate that those angels that have been found in Yahshua the Messiah, they go upward into heaven, or righteousness, peace, and joy in Yahshua Messiah. And those who deny Yahshua Messiah, they go down to this lake of fire, and they're separated from their Creator, which is not a happy state, but a very sad state. So there's a lot that goes into this plate of eschatology. It's going to be covered in the Chicago North Side event in April. So start studying.
That concludes our lesson for this evening, or class. We hold classes here every Wednesday and Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and every Sunday from 11 to 1. Our question and answer session is the third Friday every month, and this month it's March 15th. We can all stand for the doxology so we can be dismissed. I'll be quoting the last two verses of the book of Jude. Now unto him that is able to keep you from falling and present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy, to the only wise Elohim, our Savior, through Yahshua Messiah, our Sovereign, belong glory, majesty, dominion, and power, both now and forever. Let us all say, Hallelujah.
was this river, so deep I thought I'd drown. Then a voice touched my soul, oh so gently. It was Yahshua when I cried out. He said, peace, be still, child, and let me lift you over. He said, peace, be still, child, let me make you my soldier for truth. It's such beauty, yeah, yeah. Wear it as your armor. He said, peace, be still, child, and let me lift you over and over and over and over. Troubles on my right side and loneliness to my left. I didn't think I belonged anywhere. I even cried when I slept. The burdens got so heavy